What's up and welcome back. If you're new here to the channel, then hit that like and subscribe button to view more content like so. And in today's video, we're going to be going over this here Gretsch round badge kit. Sizes are 22 by 14 for the bass drum, 13 by 9 for the rack tom, and a 16 by 16 for the floor tom, as well as the 14 by 5 chrome over brass snare drum. After giving the kit a good once over, I make a list of things that I'm going to need and set out to order them all. Jumping into it, you can see here that this kit is beat to shit. It is being held together by some MacGyver engineering. All of the wraps on every drum are starting to peel off, and basically everything on the bottom end of the drums is missing. And here on the bass drum, we have this wonky asshole that is going to need fixed. Looks like somebody at one point tried to add a tom mount holder and just never went through with it. But before we can get to fixing, we need to get everything apart and down to the bare shells. With the help of a drum key and a flathead screwdriver, I get to work. To my surprise, while taking these apart, I got no resistance from any of the threads or pieces of hardware on the drum. Everything seems to be in round as far as the shells, and the bearing edges are in decent condition. We have some things to clean up, but I'm lucky so far. Repeating the process on all the drums, making my way to this disaster of a bass drum. This hoop is absolutely trashed. It has been cranked down on as well as probably dropped from what it looks like, so there's no saving it or no point trying. And my least favorite part of this entire process on any drum kit: the nasty shit left inside the bass. I'll let this slide because I did get these out of the trash, but it's soon to be 2025, and I say we start the trend as drummers to clean the nasty shit out of our bass drum before we sell them if we do. Nobody wants your grandma's 1929 depression pillow that's been drooled on by camels and donkeys and dry rotted to hell and back in their bass drum and have to handle that crap. So respectfully, please and thank you in advance. Anyways, as far as removing the wraps, they practically did that themselves. From being stored in a hot attic, I assume that the glue separated from the shells and the wraps themselves, making this one of the easiest jobs I have ever done as far as tearing down a drum to the bare shell. Basically, the little tacks that go through the badge and into the shell were the only thing holding the wraps on. And speaking of wraps, they have on the backside where they met the shell this weird kind of stranded material in with the glue. If you know what this is, please comment below because I have no idea and I wasn't able to find much online about it. Like, is this stuff supposed to make a stronger bond between the wrap and the shell? Or is this stuff the reason why the bond between the wrap and the shell failed in the first place? Now with everything down to the bare shells, I can get in there and further inspect and check for any flaws or discrepancies in the shells themselves as well as the edges. No sooner than getting that done, the first package has arrived. This was my first time ordering from these guys. They were super fast and efficient, as well as hooking it up with some sticker goodies. One for the computer and one for the car. And we have the tension claws for the bass drum hoop. These being as close to the originals as I could find without being the original vintage ones. The going price on vintage originals these days is just astronomical. Getting to the hole in the top of the bass drum, this was just a simple, straightforward process of me using a spare bass drum and drilling out a puck slightly bigger than the hole, sanding it down until I got a good flush fit to glue. I didn't go into depth here because as I was doing this, I did get another package in the mail. It being from the guys over at Drum Factory Direct with the rest of the parts that I need to complete this build, which are the bass drum tension rods, and again, they are the closest thing to the originals that I could find, as well as the tension rods for the rest of the drum set, including the rack tom and floor tom, then the hoops that will be going onto the bottom of those as well, along with some double ply coated Drum Factory Direct heads. After a few days of downtime and cleaning lots of lugs in between, I was super stoked that my final package had arrived. And usually I like to do my kits in a darker theme, but this time I chose to go with a sparkle champagne finish. Side note, I will be making another video on why I will never go this route again. And although you do see the finished product at the end of this video, this is definitely not what this kit is going to be when I'm finished with it. Jumping into it, I grab the wraps that go with the correct shell and begin the trimming process. After clocking and measuring the wraps, I use my little craft cutter here that I picked up at a local Goodwill for just $4 to cut the wraps down to size. And for the bigger wraps, I use an aluminum bar clamped down to the table as a straight edge to guide my razor. After applying contact cement to both the shell and the wrap and allowing it time to tack up to the touch, I then begin to apply it to the shell and wrap it like I do any other drum. And to trim up the wrap around the bearing edges, I simply use a file to knock back the wrap until the edge is exposed and smooth to the touch.
Russell, give me a hand here.
Different from what you would expect to be played on this drum kit. I am by no means a jazz player or any good at that matter, so I won't even try to embarrass myself. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and until next time, drums, drums, drums.